Okay, so today we will focus on oral exam, oral communication. So we have to be able to identify and use narrative tense when telling a story. Okay, what do we mean by narrative tense? Related tenses, we know that they fall under grammar. What kind of grammar should we use when we're telling stories? Okay, of course, if you were to write a personal recount, of course, the tenses used are usually present, no, are usually simple past tense, generally, right? Okay, and it depends on what stories are you telling, yeah? Okay, I think I don't have to go through rules again with you, so we'll go straight in. So what are narrative tenses? Oh, Yichen is here. Hold on a second. Hi, Yichen.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, narrative tenses are verb tenses. Okay, verb means action, right? It can be an abstract, it can be concrete. Yeah, it can be action or it can be a non-action verb. Yeah, that you use when you tell a story that happened in the past. These tenses are typically used to talk about historical events, recent actions, and even biographical information. You will find them in textbooks, stories, and spoken accounts. Okay. So, of course, there are four types of narrative tenses. You can tell story in these four narrative tenses. Okay, your past simple, past continuous, past perfect, and past, oh, not past. I think there's a typo error. Okay, past, not past. Okay, past perfect continuous. Okay, so these are the different types of narrative tenses, right? Okay, so in this case, past simple, I think very straightforward. Okay, it has to be something in the past. For example, I visited Italy last summer. Mom cooked lasagna for dinner, right? So these are the past simple tense. Okay, I didn't go to school yesterday. Now, in this case, did is a past, is simple past. Okay, this is a simple past tense. I did not, didn't. Okay, go to school yesterday. Last year, I went to Korea. I watched a movie yesterday with Kelly. Okay, then of course we have our past continuous tense. It's, if you notice, everything is in the past. Simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Because generally when you're telling a narrative, it has happened already. Okay, so all past tense. So what do we mean by past continuous? Past continuous is used to talk about an action that is in progress at a specific point in the story that you're narrating. So in a particular point in the narrative, something is happening. It's in progress. It's not done yet. Okay. So for example, I was cooking dinner when Chris called. It was raining yesterday. Kelly was studying. The students, because it's plural, so were running. We were eating. So all these are your past continuous tense. Okay. The students were running in the classroom. We were eating sushi in the restaurant. Okay, from what I understand from the Japanese is that to pronounce this word is actually sushi, it's not sushi. How many of you actually pronounce this as sushi? Yes? Right? I do the same also. Okay, but somehow one of my Japanese friends told me, no, it's not sushi, it's actually sushi. Okay, that's the correct pronunciation, sushi. Okay, anyway. Now the next one is past perfect tense. Same thing, everything is in the past. When you're narrating a story, generally is in the past. So therefore, sometimes we also have to use perfect tense as well. Okay, so what do we mean by perfect tense? Perfect tense is something that was completed, unlike continuous tense. Continuous tense means it's still in progress. Perfect tense means it has already been completed before a certain point in the past. Okay, so here are some examples of past perfect example. The train had departed. So we were narrating, okay, In this case, the train had departed. It has been completed. Okay, it has left before a certain point of the story that we are narrating. So that's past perfect. Okay. By the time I got to the station, after Kelly had finished, so she had already finished her homework, she played tennis. I had known. Okay, you've completely known about this for quite a while. Yeah, completed. I had eaten. Okay, I had eaten. Just in this case, the word just in this sentence actually acts as an adverb. What does an adverb do? An adverb tells you a little bit more about the verb. So in this case, what verb is this? It's actually eaten, right? So this is the verb. So when did the character eat? He had just eaten. Okay, so an adverb always tells you a bit more about the verb. Yeah. So the just here does not count as past perfect tense. Had eaten is the past perfect tense. Just is just an adverb. Okay. So next one, mom had gone. Mom had gone to work when I arrived home. So mom had already gone to work. Okay, it has been completed. Basically, she has left the place. Okay, she had left home. Yeah. Okay, now next one is past perfect continuous. What's the difference between past continuous and past perfect continuous? Okay, past perfect continuous is talking about something that was happening, okay, and is continued to a certain point. So it was happening in the past, yet it is still continued up to a certain point in the past. Okay, the difference, if you look at past continuous, it's in progress at a specific point. Okay, but past perfect continuous it's happening in the past, but it's continued up to a certain point. Okay, so for example, I had been living in Italy for 5 years when I decided to move back home. Yeah, so that means it was happening in the past until a certain point. Then, of course, she moved back. Okay, so it was happening in the past and continued up to a certain point. Kelly had been exercising every day before she got injured. My father had been working at the same company since 1995. Chris had been studying hard for 3 hours before he fell asleep. Craig was very tired. He had been running for an hour. Okay, he had been running for an hour, right? So all these are your past perfect continuous tense. Any questions so far? No, these are the 4 different types. I'm sure in primary school, your teacher must have taught you this before. I think it's just a revision for now. Yeah? Do you still remember your tenses? Shouldn't be a problem, right? Okay, now let's move on. So we are going to do this ask your partner game. Okay, for now, I'll give you some time. How many of you are here? 5 of you. Okay, so that means there will be 2. There should be a Yu Hang joining us, but I think she might not be coming already since it's 7:40. What time is it now? 7:41. Yeah. Okay, maybe later. Well, so you are supposed to prepare a list of questions. Maybe let me just be more specific, okay? You're supposed to prepare 10 questions, before I put you into your breakout rooms. Okay, you're supposed to ask your partner 10 questions. It can be any questions, but please be mindful and be sensitive. Please don't ask sensitive questions. Okay, so any random questions, what I'd like you to do is to probe your partner and get them to answer you using any one of the tenses. But it has to be past tense, right? Because it's either past continuous, simple past, past perfect, or past perfect continuous tense. Okay, so prepare a list of questions right now on a piece of paper first. I think as I speak, you can start to think what questions you'd like to ask your friends. Okay, the questions you write depend, okay, on your paper. It's not your board, right? On your paper. depends on which narrative tenses you wish to practice. I mean, it can be any. Here are some examples you can use. Where do you go during the March holidays? Okay, so your friend has to answer. Your partner has to answer in any one of the tenses. Okay. Yeah, what did you do in school today?
That's easy.
So practice oral C, yeah? Let's just have some conversation going. How long have you been in your CCA?
5 months.
Which places of interest in Singapore have you visited?
Universal Studios.
So when your partner answers you, please be mindful of which tense did he or she use. Okay, is it past perfect? Is it past perfect continuous? Is it past continuous or is it simple past? Yeah? 5. Is it 10 questions too many or should I just do 5? Yeah, I think I'll just do 5 then. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, once you have the questions, you have 5 minutes to ask, right? 5 questions, 5 minutes. I would think that I don't think if 5 questions, you need 5 minutes. If let's say you have extra time, you can always think about more questions to ask, okay? Then of course, later on, when we come back to the main room, then you will share with the class the answers you've gathered, right? So this simple activity is really a very simple activity, but it really gives you a chance to practice talking with narrative tenses, because when it comes to oral exam, generally the questions or the prompts that the examiner is going to ask you are going to be something that has happened in the past, and most likely you will have to use the narrative tenses as well. Okay? Yeah. So are you ready with your 5 questions? You need a bit of time. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. You're done already, Yi-Chen? Yes, Chloe is done also, I can tell. Sheena, you okay? 5 questions. Anna? Yeah.
No.
Anna is preparing, right? Varun?
Mostly done.
Mostly done. Okay. I will
Just need to
just
think of one more.
yeah, okay. I will just allocate the breakout rooms first. Again, it's by random, okay? I didn't choose. So let's see. Okay, interesting. The girls and the boys. 3 girls in one room and the 2 boys in one room. So you'll ask each other questions, okay? Now for the girls, because there are 3 of you, so you have actually a total of 15 questions. So maybe Chloe, when you ask Yi-Chen and Sheena, can both answer.
I was
Okay.
gonna say that imagine being boys in one room and girls in one room. Exact. Wow.
I think it's also better in a way if you're asking something more intimate. Yeah, I think it's better to have girls and as in not intimate, as in I'm not suggesting something else. Please don't think dirty, okay? Intimate questions are things like maybe you want to know if it's something related to girls, then maybe the girls might not want to share with the boys, right? There are certain things. Okay, so ready? Everybody's ready? Yep, okay. Okay, how was the conversation?
Hello.
Hi, how was the conversation between you two?
We finished early.
Interesting.
And we're just singing songs. I want to sing songs.
Listening would be the correct word.
You
Whatever.
ask, if you ask aloud, what genre does he listen to?
And my answer
no.
would be I have no idea because I do not know what genre it is.
Well,
I'm
it
asking 5
depends.
sensible questions.
I asked him 4 random questions and 1 very weird question.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. He asked an insensible question that was not supposed to be asked.
Insensible. You ask each other insensible questions.
What
No,
is
I didn't.
insensible?
Unlock did. Unlock did.
What the hell is insensible? Oh shit, I swear.
So, what do you ask? What do you ask, Varun?
I asked him who his crush is.
Right. I mean,
See?
to be honest, I don't think that is a past. That's a narrative tense, you know. What his crush is present tense. Right. So, Varun, do you answer him?